Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, living the dream.
You live the dream. Look at you in the studio still. Have you been there all day?
Yeah, we've been here the last couple of days, and we got a few days to go. So,
Whereabouts? Where is
uh,
your
we're on the Gold Coast with Jared Adlam in Tambourine. So,
Yep.
We've done everything with him so far, and I think that's going to stay the same for a while.
Yeah, it was working. Why change?
Exactly right.
Exactly. La was talking to you before we went live. We had you on the show. I can't believe it was November, and that's 7 months ago. You were heading off overseas. Tell us a little bit about how that went, because I know it was pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a good, fun, fast action 6 weeks, but was lucky enough. It ended up being Christmas Day in Finland. Got on the knee and proposed to my now fiance Ashley. So yeah, it ended up with a bang. So it was good.
Congratulations. That's setting the bar pretty high for everyone else.
Yeah.
In Finland, Christmas time, it would have been snowing over.
Yeah.
Now everyone's got to jump up another level. But how beautiful was that? Had you been to any of those places before?
I'd been to a few of the countries we went to in Europe, but no, Finland was definitely on another planet. As cliche as it is a very magical place, especially at Christmas time. So definitely recommend.
It's another. It puts another word to cold, doesn't it? Like we think, oh, winters are cold when we get -2s and 3s, and that snow is there 24/7. There's no break from it.
We sort of got lucky and unlucky at the same time because it was supposed to be -20s, but there so happened to be a volcano going off in Iceland, so it sort of only got to like -6s. But because it was not as cold and the atmosphere changed, we didn't get to see the northern lights while we're there. So it was a bit of a payoff, but I'm definitely not complaining because
it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Does that mean that the wedding is going to be an overseas wedding? Is that the?
No, we've pretty much got that nailed and planned for next year too. So,
oh my gosh,
it'll be at home, where all our family is and that. So,
yeah, hopefully in the nice weather, not in the snow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go over there and do, not so much the white Christmas, just to feel the difference. Like snow here, yeah, it's cold, but it's not snowed compared to what you get over there.
No.
I reckon -20. I don't know that I could bring myself to walk out to the car or to the door or anything like that.
I've done a white Christmas in Canada before at Lake Louise, and that was -36. And
Celsius.
Yeah, -36. And I've been over there other times, and it was -40 something. Feels like -50 while I was there, so it gets ridiculous. Yeah, -6 in Finland was easy.
Wow, I think winter days here are cold, and I struggle to get out of bed. Over there, that would be. We don't know. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't function.
It's like 20 degrees here, and I'm still wearing it.
It was 12 here today. It's been cold, but it was not as bad. But we haven't had a real harsh winter yet. It's still coming.
On the way.
So the time away, you got a bit of a break, and then you came back into it and went pretty hard into shows. It's been pretty full on for you since we last saw you. How's 2024 been so far, music-wise?
Every time we think that we're as busy as we can be, it just seems to just get more and more involved. Not that we're complaining; it's good. We love the hustle and the grind, but we've definitely been on the road a lot, playing a lot of shows and a lot of really good shows. So it's there's just always more to do and more people to meet, I guess.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's great, though, to see you guys doing so much. And I was so excited because I hadn't got to see you guys live together before, and seeing you in January, it was so good. And I can't remember what venue it was. It was a new venue, wasn't it? Fairly recent opening one.
Is it the? It was the Arcana, was it, in Brisbane? Is that how you
Yeah.
say it?
I
Yeah,
don't know if that's how you
the
say it, but
Empress
that
Theatre or something. Yeah,
yeah, it was a great show. You guys looked like you had an absolute ball up there, actually. It was
yeah,
good to see. Yeah.
yeah. No, like I was saying before, Joshy messaged me at midnight the night before we were going overseas, and um, that was the first weekend of January getting back from overseas. So it was, it was a good way to start the year and get the opportunity to do that sort of stuff in front of new faces and, get to showcase all our stuff. So, yeah, that was definitely a bit of a bucket list. It was a really fun show. Yeah.
Yeah, it did look great, and it was great to finally see you guys all together and actually feel all of you on that stage and the performance. I really loved it. It was a perfect way to open for Josh, and then Josh is
Yeah.
also fantastic that night too. I think that was his first headline
Headline
show
show. Yeah.
in Queensland, wasn't it? Yeah, or all together in Australia. Yeah, so
I think so.
pretty exciting. Yeah, pretty exciting thing to be a part of. Now you've got a new single out. Tell us a little bit about that one, because I know it has a beautiful story behind it and has a nice meaning to you as well.
It's it's 5-ish years old now, which is, all these songs come about, you know ironically when I first met Ashley, and sparks are flying, and um, you're motivated to write these cute, nice, happy songs. And um, it was originally, called something else, and was a completely different song, and just sort of missed the cut when we did that first EP. But I knew that it had a place on this upcoming album. It just needed a fresh facelift and a new coat of paint. So we sort of rewrote it in that day, and sort of by that afternoon we had recorded it and knew what we wanted to do. But the whole gist of it, was just telling that story of meeting that someone when you don't expect it, and the sort of the progression into the early stages of a relationship and moving in together, and
Yeah.
and I feel like we capture that essence pretty well, and specifically to our story as well. So it and like I said, now we're engaged, so it worked out pretty well.
It's working out very well. As you're saying, I know you wrote that 5 years ago. How much did it change in that time? Like when you sat down and rewrite it, was it quite a lot of change, or was it?
I think I kept 2 lines.
Yeah, right.
I kept
So
2 I kept 2 lines. You know, some of them are sort of half there, but it just needed to get, I guess, with the times, or rather, you know, over that period, you find your sound, and you
yeah,
sort of know, and music changes too, like what worked 5 years ago and how you write it doesn't mean it works now. So, but I wanted to tell that story, so we just, probably spent the first half of the day just rewriting it, and
yeah.
then, you know, by that afternoon it was tracked and pretty much done. So to be honest, it came together really quite easily.
Yeah, okay, because it was something you really wanted to do. Country Girl said, amazing song and congratulations. Um, absolutely, it's so exciting. And it's so nice to hear a positive story coming out of, the last 5 years, because it's been a pretty crazy time for everybody, but musicians especially, over the last few years. So it's nice to hear some positive things coming out.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and I love hearing the stories of how the songs originate and then how they change and evolve over
Yeah.
time. I think, as you said, like it's how music's changed, but it's also, and your sound, you found your sound, but it's also you're 5 years down the track. So part of that song needed to be updated for you to be able to really sing it and feel it and get it to where it
Yeah,
is now.
the whole flow, the whole vibe, the whole, you know, yeah, I don't know. Every in 5 years it changes a lot, but the
Yeah,
story doesn't. So it's just trying to like find that compromise to make it work, so you can
yeah,
tell that story. And if it you know for what it's worth, it is Ashley's favorite song that we've ever recorded and released, and obviously she's heard them all. So
yeah.
hopefully that
Probably
means we're
millions
on
of
the right
times.
path. Yeah.
Yeah. She was here. Yeah, I have heard all of them.
Yeah.
Know them as well as you guys. But yeah, Jonathan has popped in and said to say hello as well. Thank you for watching, Jonathan, again. Now, tell us, I know, as you said, you're in the studio at the moment. You've got, obviously, music that you're recording, working towards an album. Are you going to try and release some more before the year's out? Because
Yeah, we got yeah, I know. It's we got 2 more singles to come out this year, and the album's finished, so that'll come out, I'm hoping maybe Marchish next year, and then the stuff we're down here doing now is sort of, that'll potentially follow that at some point next year. So we're just trying to stay ahead of the 8 ball a little bit and make sure we got some stuff there to roll on with, and keep it all coming.
I actually think that's part of why you guys are getting so, you've really grown in the industry and people are really starting to notice you, because that organization and that long-term planning, you're telling stories now, but you're telling stories that, there's a follow-up to. And I think it
Yeah.
just keeps it current. And I think that's why people are going, these guys are evolving every time you do a show, every time you're moving forward. So I think it starts to show on that stage, and people are loving that, which is really nice.
Sure. And I mean, like, everything that we write about, it's all real life stuff that actually happens, and you're just basically seeing snapshots into my life and our lives, and so it's going to naturally progress, and the more you do that, the more you craft your sound to suit that as well. So it's
true.
and we all still work full time too. Still, that's why we have to be organized as well, and really try and time manage, because it's a juggle to do both. So
Absolutely.
I think we're in a good spot now with having that catalog ready to go, and actively still recording more. So
yeah, fantastic. How are you finding that? Because I think, before COVID, there were quite a few musicians out there just doing music, and they were doing really well before COVID. Now, COVID sort of taught us music's not safe, as in you can't always pay your bills with music, because that can be taken away, your shows can be taken away. Is that something that you guys, do you think, will always try and do, have 2 different things? So you've got something to fall back on, and maybe even something to get away from music for a few days. Is that something that, as a musician, you feel you need to do that?
I've thought about it a lot, and I think, honestly, like, I would love to just do music full time, and not even just music, just have the time to be creative in all different aspects, and like, because obviously there's also videos and socials and all sorts of things that
It's huge.
take up a lot of time. But I've also thought on that, if you do start working, and you're just doing this stuff all the time, I do feel like it is still good to have something else. And I mean, how do you write country-esque music if you're not still living and breathing it, I guess? Like, you got to live some life to have some stuff to write about. So, I feel like if we can juggle it and balance it somewhat, it'll be a good mix. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask, does that help you with material as well? And I know that music full time and being on the road, meeting people, doing things, you definitely got material, but you're also trying to do some relatable material. And a lot of the listeners aren't on the road every day. They want to hear some of those things that they're probably doing or similar and can relate to more. So I think definitely, I can understand wanting to do that, and that safety aspect as well. And it keeps you grounded, I think, as well.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's always good to have, one of my biggest struggles, I think, is to keep myself, like, really mentally stimulated and interested and whatever. So I think having a broad range of different things to be able to do, but still have the time to, be allowed to be creative is important. So, and a lot of the work, work life is in rural areas and on properties and all that sort of stuff. So, living and breathing as much as we can, sort of what we're singing about. So
it's excellent. It's so good. You guys are about to head off onto a bit of a tour. I think, is it 22nd, your first show, if I've written that down right?
it's funny. It's funny because, technically we haven't stopped playing for 3
Stops.
years. We just did like 6 or 7 shows like in the 4 weeks before coming to this studio, and then we jumped straight back into getting on the road. And like I was saying before, we have the last bunch of dates to announce soon to sort of round out that year. But yeah, we just like it's just more and more, and we love it and take as much as we can.
How compared to this time, like November last year, even you guys are flat out, and your shows just keep rolling in. How many people in the industry can go, yeah, we're nearly booked out for the whole year, and there's still 6 months left? Like you're doing it, it's showing how much what you're doing is working. And I don't think it'll be long before you're, as you said, out of the state and doing much broader tours. Have you got any one bucket list Australia wise that you really are working to? Because I think you
Yeah,
guys are just really hard. Yeah.
I've already sort of worked out our sort of goals
Yeah.
and what we want to do tour wise next year, so we can, so you can actually call it a tour and not just be playing, even though it's really good stuff that we're playing in Queensland. I think we got to go interstate and
Yeah.
get a chance to do that. And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of different festivals and events and all sorts of things we want to play, but we also want to come down and just play venues and get to do those sort of shows as well,
Yes.
because they're a lot more personable as well, and you get to meet people and you're up close, so
Yeah.
it's a mix of both that we want to do. But yeah, definitely interstate for sure next year.
Absolutely. I think that's excellent. And yeah, it's incredible getting to meet some of those people. I know that's probably one of my favorite things when we go to Tamworth, because a lot of your fans, a lot of the people that watch and support you go to Tamworth, and getting to see those, I guess, those profile pictures in real life, and getting to meet them, and it just brings the reason that we do what we do together.
For
So
sure.
yeah,
We're
absolutely.
definitely going to do our best to get to Tamworth next year for the first time, because obviously we're pretty fresh into
Yeah.
our career as such, but just the way it's worked out in the last couple of years, it's been sort of tough to try and get there. But that's
Yeah.
having this year already fairly sorted makes it easy to look straight into stuff like that next year. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there are some really good venues, and I reckon you guys would do great there. I can't believe you haven't been. I don't know how to explain Tamworth to someone that hasn't been, other than I don't think you'll ever experience
yeah,
anything like it. It's very unique. You can go to a big festival that goes for a week, but Tamworth is something different about it. I don't know if
yeah,
it's the tradition. Like, I guess when you're there, knowing the music industry and how much we love it now, I think maybe that tradition of how it started to get us to where we are now might play a bit of a role in that. But
for sure.
and just I don't know, there's something different about it. You'll love it.
Hopefully we get to experience it firsthand finally
Then
next year.
now, for your current single, you guys have done a film clip, and I actually really love it. I like like I said to you, I like the artwork, and I really love the film clip. Tell us a bit about this one. Um, is it something that you designed, that you went with? How did it come about?
It's it's very close to the original sort of idea that I had, and like how I wanted to tell that story. We You'll like this. We were fortunate enough to get Josh on board again to film this for us.
He's
Um,
really good at it, isn't he?
yeah,
He's
and so
practically
awesome to work with. He
yeah.
he it's very hard to line things up amongst us all, being that everyone's so busy. So we only actually figured out a date like the Friday before, and we looked at the calendar and was like, oh, that's next Sunday. So, and we
Wow.
played a show the night before this as well. So
Oh, you would have been
it was
exhausted.
definitely a bit of a challenge, but it's cool too, because like half of this is filmed at the Great Western,
I was gonna
and
ask, is that what yep.
yep, yep, and like a part of this story in this song like happened here as well. So
Oh,
it
really?
it just, I don't know, it just felt right and ticked all the boxes. And it's also funny too, because the weekend we tried to film this happened to be Magic Round for the footy. So I had no friends and family and all sorts of, there was just no one there that could help and be extras and like come and be in a video. So it's actually my brother and his wife Tiff that are the two sort of the main actors in the music video. And the fun fact on that is they met on the same day and at the same place Ashley and I did, because we're at a little festival to, and it's just crazy how it sort of all works out. And then like this story will be very similar to theirs. So,
Wow,
it,
how special is that?
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's what everyone that's looking for somebody, maybe you need to go to that festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go. You might be it might be as lucky as these guys. So that is at the Great Western. What a great venue to be able to film. I guess the one good thing about film clips is you're not having to worry about your vocals from the night before.
Yeah.
That's one good thing. But no, it looks so much fun, and it just looks relaxed and happy. It just goes really well with the song. So if you haven't already listened to the song and watch the full film clip, make sure you have a look. The film clip is in the link to the comments if you want to click on that and have a look when we finish here as well. But you guys just look like you're having so much fun.
Yeah, it's we were saying I kind of wish it didn't work out to be on a Sunday, because then we could have just had some beers and
Yeah.
and enjoyed it and had a good time. But I think having Josh on board too, and obviously we're good friends with him, and Riley and Tiff are family, and we all know each other, just made it really comfortable, because this is our first music video, so I didn't know how it was going to be, for, being awkward and like trying to act and all that sort of stuff, but it was so comfortable and
Oh really? Yeah.
so
Are
easy.
you more confident doing something different next time, or how do you? Because I would be terrified the first time doing something like that.
I think because we knew we only had that day, and it was now or never, just made it, nerves and all that stuff doesn't matter. You just got to just make it happen and have fun with it, and it's going to turn out how it turns out. Yeah. And then we're stoked with it. So definitely more to come.
Cannot wait. Country Girl asked, "Is Sydney on your bucket list for a tour?" That would be
definitely. That's definitely on the list for next year. We're going to try and get there, hopefully more than once. So
absolutely. Put some comments in the well, let me get my tongue right. Put some venues that you like and would like to see them play in the comments, so that we know where you guys are wanting to see people play. I always love that, because you just you go on tour and you go to a venue, but you don't know until you get there if it's what will work, what won't. So it's always good to hear from the locals to know which is the spot they like the most.
100%. Every time you play somewhere new, you got no idea. It's exciting and scary at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's worth it. Now, you guys, as you said, you've been on tour all year. Where's the best place to get tickets for shows or keep up to your current whereabouts? I know we always talk about this, but there's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's so many places. But do you guys have a preferred one for people to follow?
Well, definitely the easiest that will consolidate it all is, and I don't know if we had this last time we spoke, but we do have a website now, and it's and there you go, and it's all our dates are on there, and like I said, they're about to be updated, and even if we're not selling the tickets directly ourselves, I still make sure the links are in there through the various avenues so that you can get tickets. So website is definitely the best place to find everything.
Excellent. Well, guys, have a look at the website when we finish here as well, or you can play back the video and scan that QR code as well. It will take you to everywhere you need to be. Did you do the website?
Yeah. So I hadn't done a website, so I got one of my good friends who just happens to be really good at doing that stuff to help me start it up and sort of learn it. But yeah, definitely over the last 4 or 5 months, it's pretty much all on me to do the website now. So I had to learn that pretty quick.
Wow. Well, it is hard. I've done a few now, and it takes a while, doesn't it? You have a lot of patience.
It can be infuriating, to be honest with you.
I feel that pain. That's why I haven't done it as yet.
Yeah, we try just set it up, keep it simple, and just as a
Yeah,
song comes out, and have a checklist, and as dates come out, update them, and just leave it at that.
yeah, exactly. A few photos. People love to see some photos and
Yeah.
let it tick over by itself. But yeah, it's the best way. How about merch? How are you guys going? Have you got some merch or anything that people can get yet?
We've had merch, but we finally have got our merch back because it took so long to get more merch back, and we have some new merch that is going to come out at some point. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe definitely at the start of next year. But
Yeah,
obviously, with this tour that we're going to try and build, we're going to bring out a whole nother range, and
yeah.
maybe just not do hats and stubby coolers. So there's um, I haven't even I haven't even put the merch on the website yet, and like I said, because it's just come in, but I will put it up there very soon, and obviously at live shows you can get it there as well. So
Excellent. I love that. All merch. And I love hearing the different ideas of merch because there's so much you could do.
yeah,
So, oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I cannot believe we've been talking for half an hour already. Thank you so much for coming back to talk to us. I know you're in the studio and busy, but I hope that you can come back for your next single.
for sure.
And I can't wait to see you guys on the road again. So if you're anywhere in Queensland in the next 6 months, make sure you have a look. There's heaps of tour dates, heaps of them. So check it out and get to one if you can. It's always a good night. Yeah, thank you. Oh, and yes, before we go, the artwork, we were talking about this a few
Yeah.
minutes ago, weren't we? About trying to have something that stands out. But the picture frame was something that you were really set on. You were saying,
Yeah, that's what I always had in mind because one of the main uh, you know hook lines, I guess, in the chorus is hanging pictures and drinking whiskey mixes because that's exactly what happened. So I just thought it'd be cool to try and put us in a picture frame hanging on a wall, and it was more of a mission to do that than you think, but
really?
I think it turned out pretty well. So
Did you
stoked.
design it? Did you do
Um,
all?
yeah, so it was a little bit between me and the boys, and a bit of back and forwards and trying to fit. There's just so many options and different ways to
Yeah.
go about it, but I would say it's a group effort on that one for sure.
That would be the hardest part being in a band, wouldn't it? Trying to all agree.
But for the most part, we're super lucky because we're naturally as people on the same page with a lot of things. There's a few creative differences, whether it's music or artwork or whatever, but for the most part, it's all pretty close, and we're really good at compromising as well. So, I mean, you're a band, so
Yeah, that's right. You have to be. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know that you're not there going, I don't want to do that because you want to damage us. You all want it to do well. So
100%.
working together as that team brings out ideas that one person can't come up with alone. So
Especially if I got an idea in my head, like I've written the song, or I have an idea for the artwork or something, like sometimes it's good to get those opinions and just go, oh, hold up, like maybe I've got no idea, and you're actually onto something really good.
yeah.
That's gonna work great. So it's just about taking a step back sometimes and just
Yeah,
listening.
thinking outside the box
Yeah,
because your heart's right into it. And I suppose the other thing too, like it's your story. Whoever's written that song, it's a part of them. So they do feel a bit more like, no, this is what I want. But looking from outside, it's often that you could do so much more than you think. So that's
100%,
fantastic.
100%. Because you're not always right, are you? You just gotta.
Exactly. We,
It's
we,
an
I
effort.
pretend I am.
Yeah,
To pretend I'm right. But no, thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. I love having you guys on. I can't wait to hear next single, and we'll see you on the road somewhere in the next few months, I reckon.
yeah, for sure, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again tonight. We'll be back next week. Make sure you either go back to the QR code and scan that, or head up to the top in the comments and watch the full film clip. Have a listen to the song before you go to bed tonight. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Cheers. Thank you.